Hey everybody, Brent here with Nutrition First Coaching. So this is a topic that I have a lot of conversations with my clients about because we have that structure of the week and then it gets to the weekend and what technically is a binge but can be binge eating. That can mean 300 or 400 calories over a couple days in a row, or that can mean thousands of calories and kind of blowing all your hard work of a week or more just on a weekend. So we can apply this to a lot of different situations, but let's stick with kind of figuring out how the weekend's gonna go when we have less structure of that work week. The first thing I like to think about is aim for good enough and not perfection. What I mean by that is if you're doing pretty well through the weekend, you just get off a little bit, that's not gonna destroy everything for a week or several days afterwards. But if you're aiming for perfection and then you kind of go over the board and you don't hit perfection, and in your mind you're like, well, I've had a piece of pizza on Saturday afternoon, so whatever, I'm not going to track anything or even think about my nutrition the rest of the weekend. And then you just go off the rails, eat ridiculous amounts of food and desserts, you feel terrible, and you've kind of blown all your progress. So think more of good enough and not perfect. I want you to also get out of the mentality of thinking like cheat days and cheat meals, because what does that even mean? That means that your mindset is a short-term diet and you're only doing this to get to a certain point, and then you're gonna forget everything you've learned, hopefully you've learned along the way. So that's a mindset thing to me. If you're thinking cheat day or cheat meal, that's not a lifestyle. Think of it as a lifestyle. Think about how you can incorporate these things into your nutrition and your calorie budget, how it all works together so you can always have balance. You don't feel like you need cheating, because is that the only time in life where cheating is a good thing? Oh, I had a cheat meal or I had a cheat day. It's like, great. Did you have a cheat affair on your wife or husband, or did you cheat on a test? I mean, all that stuff is negative. So why is cheating on your nutrition plan good? So just, get rid of that in your mentality and then think about what matters the most. For me, I just kind of wrote a few things over here. General food rules, veggies, proteins, think about fiber in your diet, get your water in. General food rules are going to kind of keep you within restrictions, but they're also going to help give you a little guidance when you can't maybe weigh and measure stuff, or you don't know exactly what you're eating in some kind of casserole or something like that at a family event. Think habits. What are the habits you're developing? It's probably staying on your hydration. It's probably exercising. It's getting enough sleep so that you're making good decisions and you're not having decision fatigue. And then think about like averages. It's averages over the week. So one day where you mess up a little bit in one or two meals, so what if that puts you over a little bit? If your averages through the whole week look really good, then it's not going to really mess all your progress up. We always look at 7-day averages or more. And, sometimes it's good to think like, okay, I'm going to do really well for 5 or 6 days. And I know this day is going to be a little more challenging. But if I look at my average over the week, everything went really well. And my average was right in the window that we're shooting for. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Not only with how much protein and macros and calories you're getting, but how much sleep you're getting and how much hydration you're getting, fiber, all those things. So think averages. Always have a rough game plan going into it, if not a really dialed in game plan. And what I mean by that is you may not know everything that's going to happen during the weekend, but if you know, okay, we have this event 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon and it's going to go into the evening, and then Sunday there's some kind of big family event at lunchtime, well, plan around that. What can you do for breakfast and lunch on Saturday? Really set yourself up well for Saturday evening. Maybe you save a little bit because you're like, I'll probably have more carbs because I'll probably have a dessert or two or maybe a drink. And then on Sunday, you're like, okay, I know there's going to be, my aunt's favorite whatever, insert the favorite food there. So I want to have some of that. So you eat a good breakfast, or maybe you fast in the morning and then you're set up for a good lunch and you can eat a few more calories and then a nice healthy dinner. But, have a rough game plan of how the weekend's going to go. Write down your commitments. So this is where it comes to what I say, like no absolutes. Like if you get into your mind, I'm not going to eat any sugar for the next 6 months. You know how hard that is? I mean, that becomes to where, okay, there's this line drawn in the sand. Now there's this dichotomy of like, well, once you ate sugar in your mindset, are you just like, well, didn't do that, so I give up on it? Or do you have to just keep resetting that over and over and over? So try not to think in the world of absolutes, think in the world of like generalizations and being around there, being in averages, and all those things are gonna lead to, long-term success and a lifestyle. How about maintaining basic habits? So this goes back to kind of what we're talking about up here. You're getting your water in every weekend. What are the things you can control? You can control your sleep patterns. You can control how fast you eat when you're somewhere. All those things that you really have control over no matter what situation you're in. Stick to those basic habits, because that's what you're trying to do, is build this lifestyle so you have all these habits in place. And then I always like to think, let's go into like a little bit more philosophical stuff here. So some is better than none. Tracking some of your food on the weekend is better than not tracking anything and having no idea. Eating some vegetables is better than eating no vegetables all weekend. Getting close to your protein and getting some protein in at every meal, that's better than not eating any protein at all. So think some is better than none in most situations, and when you can really dial it in, you will. So how can you improve? Now you're going to go to kind of that, post-mortem of the weekend, so to speak. It's Monday morning. You're going to probably go in your journal. You're going to write out kind of what went well, how your rough game plan went, what things you stuck to in terms of your kind of non-negotiable commitments to yourself. And then you're going to talk about, okay, how can I improve a little bit going forward? Think of that 1%'s a little better. And if every weekend you improve 1% to the next weekend, over a year, you got a lot of weekends. I don't know, what is that? 52 weekends. So you get a lot of improvement over the year. 50% better, that's pretty good. Just on the weekends, because during the week, you're already getting better every week, right? So put that in your journal, go through what was great, good, didn't go so well, things you can work on the next weekend. That's just that inner work that really is gonna lead to improving yourself and allowing you to grow as a person and make this a lifestyle, and make this lifelong habits that are gonna keep you healthy and fit, and you can spread that to everybody around you, and we can really get people healthy all around us, which is the goal, because those are all our friends and family members and the people we want to be healthy. So be that beacon of light, not to get too philosophical, but work on this if you have trouble with binge eating on the weekends. Maybe it's even binge eating in the evenings. Think about some of these same principles and, keep pushing forward, keep working hard. I'll see you again next week. If you got some good comments for me, leave them below. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. That helps us keep these going. Share them with your friends if they've talked about binge eating, because maybe they'll pick up a couple things from this too. And give us some other topics you want to hear about. We'll keep cranking these out, have a lot of fun doing them. And it's really a lot of things that I talk to all my clients about on a weekly basis. So I try to put these videos together just to try to answer those questions for everybody else. All right, like and subscribe to us. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.